Do you agree today that you were wrong to oppose busing in America then?
No.
Do you agree?
I did not oppose busing in America. What I opposed is busing ordered by the Department of Education. That's what I opposed.
Well,
I
there
did
was
not
a failure of states to integrate public schools in America. I was part of the second class to integrate Berkeley, California public schools almost 2 decades after Brown v. Board of Education.
Because your city council made that decision. It was a local decision.
So that's where the federal government must step in. That's why we have the Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act. That's why we need to pass the Equality Act. That's why we need to pass the ERA. Because you're out here and you're committed not only to voting, but to making sure everyone you know is in. I'm talking about things that I know. And we're going to have to deal with that as we go forward. And the thing about a relationship of trust, which I think we all know in our personal and our professional lives, is that the very nature of... Mr. Chairman, I'd like to be recognized to ask a question before we proceed. The committee received just last night, less than 15 hours ago. People in power are trying to convince us that the villain in our American story is each other. Not only is this an impeachment trial, but that the very integrity of the United States Senate is on trial. What is before us? March and shout for justice and civil rights. He put that same passion into that allow people to get the kinds of jobs that need to be performed. And I plan on addressing that immediately, as I have done in my history. Right. We have, actually, and I would, if you have the time, we have our whole rural plan you guys are experiencing. I come from California, and we have more veterans in California than there are active men and women in service around the globe. So this has been an issue that's to criminal justice reform. I mean, let's be clear. This is somebody who has disrespected the voices that have been time that is requiring us each and collectively to look in a mirror and ask a question, that question being, who are we? And I think we all know part of the answer to that question. And that's been the people. I have never worked for a corporation. I have never worked for a special interest. These are crimes that should have been prosecuted. There are victims and their families that should have received justice. President, I ask unanimous consent that the Committee on the Judiciary be discharged from further consideration of S. 3178 and that the Senate proceed to its immediate consideration.